You're putting out fucking MGK vibes today, dude.
Am I?
Fucking hard.
Dude at the liquor store said I look like a Stranger Things kid.
What does that even mean?
He said it was the haircut.
You mean you look like you're from the 80s? Is it the mullet?
I mean, yeah, I have a mullet. And then I think that was his way of saying he didn't think I was 21.
You look like you play D&D and your best friend's an alien. Who wrote that show? Get the fuck out of here.
Oh my God. You look like your name's Randy and you live somewhere.
By the river. Drew. Spit it up, dude. Hello, and welcome to another Phenomenal Photographers affiliating with fantastic fantasy phantoms while they finger each other's forearms. Uncle Gary got caught taking photos of 5-year-olds for fake IDs to get into Franklin Street Tavern episode of Thedaysgrimm. My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
And I'm Drew Head.
What's up, gentlemen?
Not much.
I just got done crying.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah?
Dude, who wrote the fucking Strangers Thing layout? You know, or the Strangers Thing layout. Like, okay, hear me out, guys. All right, you guys hang out in your mom's basement. You play D&D. Your best friend's an alien. Go. And they write an entire show around it.
That's just every 80s movie. E.T.?
You had me rolling at the beginning of the show before we start. I was fucking crying. And then I read the wrong notes. So there's that. Are you guys doing okay today?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Drew,
doing all right.
okay?
I was sweating my ass off earlier. It's
I'm
hot.
sweating my ass off now. I think it's the White Russian, which very well made, by the way, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I learned from the best.
Speaking of who you learned from, Tom.
Joining us this week in the Thedaysgrimm studio is Josh Meredith. How are you?
Very well. I'm alive, so I can't complain.
Dude, right side of the grass.
I know.
You know what I mean?
What?
It could always be worse.
Yeah, that's right.
You could have polio.
It's true. It could be the 50s.
Dude, you know, it's coming back in a big way. I say that like it's a positive
Polio?
thing. Yeah, dude.
It's coming back like smallpox. We are loving this shit.
Dude, you could Google it to prove me wrong, but I think there was a 2020 case of polio in like Madagascar.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, yeah. Eradicated in 2020 as at 2022. Hold on. Endemic wild poliovirus type 1 remains in 2 countries, Pakistan and Afghanistan. So that's why we've been bombing the shit out of those places.
That's where all the iron lungs went to. Is Pakistan and Afghanistan, man.
That's why we started the war. 9/11. Never forget. You know what I mean? So anyways.
Yeah, I mean, polio's like cerebral palsy now where they can fix it at a young age, right?
Can they?
I don't
You
know.
can get a vaccine for it. Same, right?
Dude,
You can get a vaccine for cerebral palsy?
No,
I don't think that's a thing.
Andy made it. It's not a vaccine. Andy made it good.
What would you call it?
Probably some sort of gene therapy.
Anti-cerebral palsy serum?
Magical powder. No,
Trademark.
We had a comedian on. He's a local comedian, Andy Imlay, just a couple weeks ago, and he came in and we were talking about his newest child his only child being born just recently.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, they had him come back in for testing. Isn't that when they went in and did it? And they were like, hey, because
she was born, like, basically if you're born under like 2 pounds or whatever, you're more likely to get it.
She was a little premature, so they had her come back in for testing with the parents and stuff. So they're like giving her all these tests, and then they give her this, serum or whatever, this magical powder that basically like prevents cerebral palsy.
Oh,
CP,
wow.
hashtag CP. And then Andy online, he got done explaining that to us, and then he was like, and then I looked at the doctor and I was like, where were you 20 years ago? Because he has CP.
Mm-hmm.
It's hilarious. He's a fucking phenomenal comedian.
Right. So, Josh, you want to give our listeners a quick elevator pitch of like who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm a photographer based around here in Southern Indiana, and a recent graduate. So I'm kind of entering life for the first time. So it's fascinating and sociologically speaking.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I'm again, Southern Indiana-based photographer, focusing on analog, digital, basically all things photography. I'm always been a photo nerd.
And you started analog, which is not like normal.
Yes, I hate to sound like a hipster, but I totally did start analog. But no,
I also listen to vinyl.
Yes,
so.
I have a massive record collection.
Do you really?
Yes, I do.
Are you getting rid of anything? Because I'm new. So
maybe we'll talk after the show. I did start analog, and I started it in a very interesting way. I remember I was in high school. I was a senior, and I was an awkward kid. I had sold a moped, and I bought my first camera, and I wanted a Nikon, a 50-year-old Nikon at the time. It was similar to this model, actually. It's a Nikon F. But it was a 67, and my mom was like, why the hell do you want a film camera? Nobody uses it anymore. I thought, hey, I don't really care. You know, film was cheap at the time, and processing was cheap, and I was taking photos of all my friends. And I just decided that it was probably best to, get prints back. That's the main thing I wanted.
that's hot, dude. I dig that. Also, okay. So you said there was a processing fee. What does that look? Because there's some shots on your IG which we have pulled up of, towards the top. Actually, the one that you were just on. I'm so sorry. But you have like the reels like pulled out.
Yeah, like the contact sheets.
Yeah, contact sheets. So are you not processing them yourself?
I am now.
But you didn't start that way.
No, I didn't start that way. Though the interesting thing is that I did have a lot of privilege, I guess, starting off very early, I would say, in the game.
Oh my God. Dude, too soon.
What?
Too soon. He said because you're white.
Yeah.
That
100%.
Yeah, well, obviously, clearly.
Well, not only that, but I knew a lot of dead people.
That checks out, too.
That's saying,
that being said.
Yes. Well, I started off very early, and we knew of a photographer around our area, and he recently passed away, and his wife was like literally wanting to clear out the basement. And in his basement, he had all of his old darkroom equipment. And so I literally bought it for $250.
No way.
I can easily sell that now 10 times what it was.
What?
Yep.
Is this like vintage shit too?
Oh yeah, like it's all vintage shit. Like mostly, most of the stuff I work with is over 50 years old.
Oh my God, that's fucking.
What was
It
the learning
still works.
curve like on that?
Yeah,
It's
dude.
tough, and I'll tell you why. I had learned in the darkroom that I bought was a series of books. And it was a huge binder books, and I was really adamant about. I paid like an extra $25 for this stack of books, and it was called the Famous Photographer's Course. And inside has a bunch of famous photographers at the time. It was made in the early '60s, and it's I think it was Cartier-Bresson, Alfred Eisenstadt, all these other famous names at the time, and they're basically teaching you how to print pictures, how to develop film, how to do all that. And I kind of learned essentially from that book. When I went to school, I thought I was hot shit. But
you were squared away. You were like, I know what's going on.
Yes.
Fuck these losers at USI. I already know this.
So you didn't take a photography class in high school?
No, I wasn't offered one. In my high school, gosh, my high school was very weird.
Where'd you go to high school again?
Heritage Hills. It's near Santa Claus, actually.
Oh, shout out.
And they're very interesting, but they're small town high school.
Okay.
They basically, I remember it like it was clear as day. They had career day at our high school. It's like, you have so many opportunities as a young person. You can work at Best Chairs. You can work at Master Brand. You can work at Kimball. Spencer Plastics, you can do
anything you can imagine.
Anything you can imagine.
Did you like look to the left and then there were just like like Marines doing pull-ups, and there was like 50 kids in line?
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. You could work in the factory. You could join.
Signing up to serve my country.
That's 100%. Like, there's many of my friends that went into the service and they really enjoyed it.
Dude, shout out to those guys, man.
Honestly, it wasn't my bag. I was just this weird, derpy kid that did not know what life was. Still don't. But we had a couple choices. We could work at the factory. Mm-hmm. We could go into the service, or we could go to college. And I say that in that sense because I remember at Heritage Hills, we were only allowed 3 different absences to visit schools. Wow. I remember meeting other people from high school and they gave them unlimited because it's it kind of put into perspective that, if you're born in a small town, you're meant to stay in a small town.
Yeah.
And it's kind of difficult, but I really did find my place here in Evansville.
It makes my heart sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my heart's actually tearing up right now because that's depressing as shit.
It is.
I grew up in Posey County, not a lot greater.
Yeah.
I actually served in the military because of Posey County. I was like, man, I'm just white trash. I'll never be able to afford to go to college. I was like, dude, we're living on scraps and fucking Pop-Tarts, you know what I mean? And I wanted to go to college.
Pop-Tarts, not toaster pastries.
Toaster pastries and dragon loops. But no, I couldn't afford college and I wanted to go, and all my other friends were going, and I was like, well, I could take on a shitload of student debt, or I was also very stupid. But I was like, I could go to the Army and they'll pay for my school. So that's what I did.
I had a scholarship. I was very thankful for it.
No, you're intelligent.
Apparently.
Or you were then. I don't know. I don't know if there's any degradation from then to now. But
well, I think when I did join college, when I did join university, I had this idea that, like again, I said I thought it was hot shit. When I met my mentor and my other people that I was working with, we talk about it now and said, it's like, God, you were trying to teach me shit. I've been doing this shit for 30 years. Yeah. And it's like, well, I was excited, man.
Yeah.
But no, college is the one thing that really kind of taught me. It's that I went into college thinking I knew everything, left realizing I knew absolutely nothing.
Yeah, even after 4 years of all that, you're like, I'm stupid.
You're like, I have more questions.
I went for 5 and I'm still stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I might know less now in my senior year of college than I did graduating high school.
But it's important to embrace your ignorance and or stupidity. I think that's very important. Humble yourself and put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you're like, I don't know anything about astronomy, but I'm going to read about it. And then you're going to realize how fucking dumb you actually are.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's a really important thing to do as a human. Thomas.
Speaking of dumb people.
Oh, jeez. Jesus. Speaking of Jesus.
Yeah.
Drew, you want to do me a solid, big buddy? Not that you're large.
I'll do your solid anytime.
Let's spin up this week's Death of the Week.
The Death of the
Oh, this week's Death of the Week brought to you by Thedaysgrimm.com. Dip the tip in. Check out some of our cool photos at the header of the page. Also, if you scroll a little bit further down, you see a mug, you see a couple of t-shirts. I personally like the black and white, but you can get them in a multitude of different colors. Beanies. We got what do you call that? A canister? I don't know.
Steel water bottle?
Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff, man. Trucker hats, dude. We support truck drivers. You know what I mean? So get in there, dip the tip in, get some merch. This week's Death of the Week. Priest dies after being electrocuted by microphone. And I'm going to give you guys a forewarning. They say the name of this town, which is really long, several times in this article. We go on. The abbot of Pagoda tragically died yesterday after the microphone he was speaking through gave him a lethal shock. The incident took place February 16, 2023 at Sve Krum Village, Kampong Lepo Commune, Samlot District, Bada Bang Province. Lieutenant Colonel, that's the name of the town. It's fucking ridiculous. Lieutenant Colonel Min Rim, Samlot District Police Inspector, stated that male, 68 years old, a pagoda abbot living Sve Krum Village, Kampong Lepo Commune, Samlot District, Bada Bang Province, was killed instantly by the shock. Ling Chorn, male, 37 years old, also received injuries. Authorities say the victim used fresh bamboo to tie a microphone near the power line, leading to an electric shock. At present, the body of the victim has been handed over to his family. Fucking tighten up.
Bless me.
To his family for traditional rites. They also spelt rites, R-I-T-E-S. I don't know if that's a Cambodian thing or what. That's this week's Death of the Week. Holy shit, how long is the name of that town?
Whoever the fuck named that, I hope they get electrocuted.
No kidding, dude. I hope he fucks around with some bamboo and finds out. Jesus Christ, that was like a 14-syllable long. I'll read it one more time just so you guys can get it. It's Sve Krum Village, Kampong Lepo Commune, Samlot District, Bada Bang province.
P.O. Box 351.
Yeah, standard issuing code 1571. Call my district attorney if you want to. His phone number is 815. And it's like, dude,
I'm
fucking
I'm kind of
Christ.
shocked that bamboo is a good conductor of electricity.
Holds a
that
lot of
would-
moisture. I know that for certain.
Yeah, I guess.
Because panda bears,
Love that shit.
kind of a panda bear fan myself. Panda bears eat it and they get a certain amount of hydration from it. Yeah, it's
I mean, you get most of your hydration from the food you eat.
most, yeah. But I mean, water intake is also important. That aside, is this a bash on Christianity? I don't know, but we're just saying that a priest was shocked,
To death.
Do you think that was in the Lord's plan?
I don't know. It certainly wasn't a lightning strike, but it was pert near close. You know what I mean?
They also included this image, which by the blur, you can only assume that the priest's dead body is here.
Oh, I thought it was a baby goat.
I thought it was a rack of ribs.
Why would they? Why put the photo? You can't see the main part of it.
Maybe it was the baby he was baptizing.
Look at the guy at the right, dude, with the police officer, dude. You can't. Can you click on that picture? What does that do? Does it make it? Oh no. Look at him though. He's like, yeah, I did this for my mom. Like, I was in my mom's basement a couple years ago, but now I'm a cop.
I love these photographs because historically speaking, it's like, yep, that's a dead guy.
Yeah. Why are you holding him?
He's got like a little half smirk on his face.
Yeah, dude. And also a sick stash.
Well, in those
Yeah.
countries, it's like a game picture. You know what I mean? It's like same as like hunting a deer or whatever.
Puts it on his dating profile. You know what I mean?
Right. This is the fourth case he finally worked and solved.
Post it on Facebook.
Oh man.
What if he's like the only Cambodian Jewish person and he's like, guess what you fucking get? And he's like holding up this priest. All right, that's this week's stuff.
What was the priest's name?
I don't remember, dude.
Let's see.
Shout out to where was it? Shout out to 68 years old. You are gone and also forgotten, except by that young Jewish Cambodian man.
Whoever wrote this article had to have known what they were doing by putting the name of the town in it
Dude's
so
a
many
fucking
times.
asshole.
Oh, 100%.
He said-
100%.
Lieutenant Colonel Menrim Samlot District Police Inspector stated that a pagoda abbot living in whatever the fuck it is, like
Shveikum
need
Village,
to-
Kapalal
It's
Commune,
like the-
Samlot District, Bada Bang Province.
Bada bang.
Bada Bang.
no need to make it so wordy.
Sorry.
It's just like the city of Henderson's Instagram page.
Shout out.
God bless
You
you.
know, the
Ted
funny thing
Henderson.
is, near my hometown, I live near a place called Dale.
Oh, I
yeah.
love Dale. I love Dale.
Really, you been?
Yeah, they have they got that fucking Catholic holdout.
A what?
They got like a seminary spot up there where I forget what they
Yeah.
call it, but there's like a commune of Catholic. It's only priests.
Yeah, it's near Saint. It's in
Saint
Saint
Mindred?
Mindred Archabbey. Yeah, yeah.
There's
Yeah,
an abbey. It's called an
Saint
abbey.
Mindred.
While I'm here, can I say a story really quick?
Yeah.
But real quick, hold on. Shout out to Dale.
Yeah, shout out to Dale.
Is it Dale that has the abbey?
No, it's Saint Mindred.
But it's really close to Dale.
Near Dale, yeah.
Okay, so I love Dale for that because the
I
last
thought
time
Dale was too close to the wall, and that's why he's not here anymore.
Shout out Earnhardt. All right, onward. You were saying.
Anyway,
sir, Josh.
okay. So, we're talking about the Arch Abbey, and we're talking about Dale. I went to school near Dale in Heritage Hills.
Yeah.
So we had a health teacher one time, and I forget his name. I think can I say his name?
I don't
Yeah,
give
you
a
say
fuck.
whatever you want, and then afterwards, if you're uncomfortable, I'll just beep it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we had a health teacher. His name was. He was a cool dude.
He's an
man.
Italian guy.
Yeah, he's great. You
I
know,
dig it.
He was like one of them young dudes. It's like, hey man, come in and talk to us after. We'll say your anonymous questions in the box. Say
I like
whatever.
that.
Like he's a cool
Just
younger.
comforting.
Like yeah, he wasn't like the old dude teaching health
Yeah,
class, right?
question: did he get like weirdly close with the teenage girls? Because there was definitely a couple of those at my school.
No.
He said there's definitely a couple of his
No,
school.
I'm not saying
did-
any names, no accusations, but
He did not. But here is his story, right?
Let's hear it.
So everybody was wondering what happened to Mr. the next semester because we were like, hey, what happened to him? We look up. There's a police report. He had broken into the St. Mindred Arch Abbey while he was drunk. And the police questioned him. And they say, why did you do it? And he said, I wanted to spook the nuns.
The nuns aren't there. It's all priests.
The nuns are in Ferdinand.
What a fucking idiot.
We
No.
got a nunnery here on the west side.
No disrespect towards.
I forget his name. I think it's
No disrespect. You're not a fucking idiot. You're obviously intelligent. But my point is,
he was drunk.
Yeah, that checks. I've done some really dumb shit drunk.
Yeah.
But there are no nuns up there. It's all priests. But the cool thing about this abbey that we're talking about is that they, for years and years back, they don't do it anymore, but they used to. Like the grade schools in Evansville used to take field trips out there.
Oh, I took so many field trips to St. Mindred.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I also went to a Catholic elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Okay, but you probably didn't get the full experience. Like 20 years ago, like back before, like,
20 years ago, they didn't use lube.
Yeah, they weren't like kids or whatever. Or if they were,
No,
they weren't telling
definitely
people.
were.
They weren't telling people. Either way, the cool thing about St. Mindred, am I saying that right? Mindred is that they used to. It's like a completely self-sustaining. Like we talked about that one time. It's a completely self-sustaining area. Like they have a well. They
It's okay.
have
You can say cult.
no, not cult, but we
I-
talked about it the
but
one
it's a
time.
cult.
I know when I went there, we made candles, like hand dipped them, and
Yeah.
then there was like a beekeeper,
Yeah,
and this girl had a lot of hairspray in her hair, and the bees liked that, and they got
Attacked
stuck in her hair. Yeah.
they attacked her. She was accosted by bees.
That's a hell of a beehive.
But
That's
they
why
had-
they call it the beehive.
They had their own cattle. They would raise the cattle, kill the cattle. They were completely self-sustaining. They never went to town for anything. And this was a few decades ago.
I didn't even know this.
They're not like that now. But decades ago, like in the 70s, Evansville schools used to take field trips out there and like get to watch cows get fucking slaughtered, and chickens would they had their own chickens and and it was a really, really cool spot. There's not a lot of priests go there now because it's lost its aptitude. A lot of them go to like formal seminary schools.
There's not enough kids around.
Right, not enough children out in the county. But that being
They
said,
stopped bussing them in 20 years ago.
no one's taking field trips out there now, and they're like, well, the well's dried up, so we got to go to these bigger cities.
Is that their traumatic? Was that the traumatic field trip in the 70s?
Dude,
like I think every one of us is
old, dude. I don't know. Are you asking me?
No. I'm just wondering because I have a feeling that deep down inside we all have had that traumatic field trip in grade school.
Yeah, dude.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's always that one that stands out in our memory as being just
I went
absolutely
to
messed
Angel
up.
Mounds when I was little, and there was an earthquake.
Shout out Camel Rock.
Yeah.
I went to St. Louis Zoo. I watched a panda die.
Oh my god!
Died.
R.I.P. Harambe.
Well, it fell over, and they were just like, well, probably just asleep.
I went to Lincoln Boyhood Home, and I think they fired a rifle, and I remember this girl fainted.
Nice.
That was fun.
Do you have anything?
This is not field trip related, but like I said, I went to a Catholic elementary school, and we would go to church 3 times a week for school.
Yeah.
And they had those little incense ball things that they would swing back and forth.
Oh, there's a special
And-
word for it. I remember this.
Yeah,
now.
I don't remember what it's called, but they
The hummus? Is it the
Hummus? I
No,
don't-
the hummus.
Oh, it's frankincense in there and like myrrh.
No, I don't know, but
And some gold.
they would basically fill the church with incense.
I know what you're
and
talking about.
motherfuckers would just pass out from there being so much incense in there all the time.
Which, by the way, Josh, are you doing okay with all the incense we got blasting in here?
Oh no,
dude?
this reminds me of high school, man. We used to put on some Jefferson Airplane and shit. We used to just
dude.
burn some incense. I love that
the
stuff.
only band that ever had 3 names. Also, did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jefferson Airplane, and then they went Jefferson Starship, and then they went Starship.
Oh, really? They just went to a Starship.
Yeah,
Didn't know.
yeah, it was Starship. Yeah,
I know about Jefferson. I know about Jefferson Starship. I never just plain Starship.
Starship was we built this city.
Oh, really?
Built this city.
So you get this whole setup like right after high school. Is that kind of solidified that you want to go to college for it?
Oh, yeah. Going back into
Back
like
to the storyline. Oh, sorry. Back to the interview.
kind of like, yeah, I started out with it and I thought it was really, really fun. I really went to college because I feel like when I was in high school, I didn't really get what I was looking for. I didn't really, I knew that I wouldn't be I come from a family of iron workers. I knew I wouldn't be able to work iron at the steel company in Rockport for the longest time.
Well, why do you think that? Because you're a good sized fella.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
6'1". You got some broad shoulders
Yeah,
on
yeah,
you.
yeah.
I think you would have been a fine steel worker.
Well, yeah, but I imagine I would have too. But I mean, I wasn't particularly driven that way. I wasn't. I come from a family of like great polarity. My father, always a hard worker, a body man. My brother, he was a kind of a builder. My mom, a hairdresser, and me, I was always the one that we didn't really know what was going to happen.
That makes sense though, because your mom being a hairdresser, it's kind of a artsy fartsy. I'm not belittling the craft, please. I'm just. It's a creative outlet.
Oh no, I totally get what you mean.
To be a hairdresser, you have to have a creative bone in your body.
Oh yes,
you know
definitely.
what I mean. So I feel like that's maybe where you pull from.
Well, I kind of pull from both of my parents. Both of my parents very musical. My father incredibly artistic. He was a car body man for a long time, still is. And I think that he can still pinstripe like I've never seen anybody do it before.
Like pinstriping sticker with paintbrush.
Oh, with paintbrush, he can just freehand it.
No, he
It's like
can't.
Beautiful, gorgeous.
Dude, we need to interview your dad.
My dad's a cool dude, man.
Dude, that's impressive. I see like Instagram, but you see it on Instagram all the time of the
Yeah.
guys that like take the paintbrush and they're just like,
Yep.
all the way down a 15-foot car, and you're
Yeah.
like, how did you not fuck that up? And then also, if you do fuck it up, what do you do? You're like, all right, man, this one's got a ding in it, but
I got to sand it out again, put some more Bondo over it. You can be good. But no,
That's impressive, man.
I went to school as an undecided major, and I did take a photography class.
At USI.
At USI.
Did we say that already? Did we say he went to USI?
I mentioned
don't
it.
remember. You
Mhm.
mentioned it,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're undecided at USI.
Yeah, I started off there, and I was kind of like undecided. I didn't know what I was wanting to do. I started off actually with an idea. I was going to study radio and television. That's why my voice is so soft and velvet, you see, after all the years in radio school.
It's delicious.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
It's been a long time since I've been able to stretch my wings and fly, you know what I mean? But
Hashtag Icarus. No, so we're going.
so I worked in radio for a long time, and then I realized that I still love taking photos. Everywhere I went, I took a camera
Yeah.
because I just wanted to I still had that mindset of wanting to, I guess, capture my time,
Yeah.
for a scrapbook or something.
I got
like that.
you. Okay.
And then I just kind of stuck with it. I fell in love with the art. I fell in love with journalism, photojournalism.
Really?
And I finally decided at the very end. I spent 5 years, and I went and I got 2 degrees, one in art and one in journalism.
Damn, nice, dude. That's what's
So
up.
that works though, because like if you were to try to be in National Geographic or something like that, you almost have to have a photojournalism like degree in order to get a job
I
there,
have a buddy of mine who shot.
which is crazy to me.
I have
Just put me out in the middle of the fucking nowhere. I don't need to fucking know how to write a paper as long as I don't get mauled by this bear 16 feet away from me.
Dude, what was it? That fucking death of the week we did where they were like up in the fucking brush in Alaska and that.
Yeah, they were hunting bears and their plane like didn't take off or whatever, and then like another bear moved in and murked them.
They were like, there's this one bear. There's this one bear that's getting slightly aggressive, but I want to take pictures of it.
And then died like a week later.
They all died. They
Oh
all
my
died
God.
because their plane didn't take off. So their plane. So the story goes, they go there to trap down not trap, but to
There
take
was a specific like herd of bears.
family. It's like a family of bears, and they're like, we've been tracking them. They're chipped, I'm assuming. And they're like, we're taking photos of them. They end their shoot. The shoot goes great. Their plane's supposed to take off. Something goes wrong with the plane.
Oh my God.
And they don't get their plane ride, so they have to stay like an additional like 2 or 3 days.
Oh my God.
And then the wife or the man? I can't
They
remember.
both died.
Yeah, they both got mauled. But one of the two of them was like, well, I was looking across the stream, which, by the way, we're at the end of the season now where bears are about to hibernate and they
Yeah.
get super aggressive. And she was like, there was a bear across the stream that was slightly aggressive, but also I was kind of watching him and I want to take pictures of him. We have a couple days. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So they like follow this aggressive bear and he finds them.
Oh my gosh.
And fucking destroys the entire camp.
I forget.
They found a femur like fucking 500 yards away from the fucking murder site, dude.
Sometimes
It was bad.
You kind of get, I guess I understand that cockiness of wanting to
passion.
actually, the passion.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that sometimes you literally are staring down a grizzly bear.
When it comes to nature, do not
Oh,
fuck.
do
with
not
I think a
mess
lot
with
of
nature, man.
I think a lot of photographers, they're like, oh, I'm looking through a lens. You know what I mean? So like,
it's real.
what? Yeah.
Oh,
It's almost like a
yes.
VR or something. Like
It's-
you're in a different zone.
I consider it, I've talked to people and they consider it like, I had the opportunity. I went to a conference earlier this year, and I talked to somebody that was covering the war in Ukraine, and he said that
Rough.
in a way, the camera is like a shield. Is what he felt like. He said, I felt fearless with the camera. Without it, I would have been pissing my britches. You know what I mean? But
That's rough,
he
dude.
was like covering that, and I see that, historically speaking, that there's a sense of cockiness that comes with the camera. You don't really think it's real.
Speaking of which, I've gone down this dark rabbit hole recently on YouTube of looking up footage from the Ukrainian-Russian war.
Mm-hmm.
Not good.
Mm-mm.
Not good.
No war is good, man.
I'll just go on record and say war, not good.
Not great. Not great, dude. I watched a dude lose his leg last night. It was intense, dude. And then, like you said, there's the guys with like the media Velcro strap on their chest, and they're just out there like, I'm like, dude, there's a fucking 50 cal going off. Why don't you fucking put your head down? God damn, it's dark though. Yeah, it's I get how you can get like lost
do
in
it
the
for the
moment.
live leak.
One of my biggest heroes in photography was a war photographer. Her name was it's pronounced Catherine Leroy.
Is she dead?
Yeah, she's dead.
Jesus.
But her name is Kathy Leroy. Just look that up. She is honestly the biggest badass I've ever read about in my entire life.
Oh, so you did not know her personally?
No, I didn't.
Okay,
but
good.
I've studied her, and she was literally the biggest badass I've ever met in my life.
Oh, look at
She looks like a badass.
She's 22. This photo here is taken in 1966, and she booked a one-way ticket to Laos, and she made her way to Vietnam. And what she did is she's 5 foot nothing, weighs 85 pounds.
obviously a soldier, clearly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But no, she's literally in the foxholes with Marines. And she's doing that up until, I think she stayed in Vietnam for 3 years. She's the only person, get this, she was dating this guy, Francois or not. They're riding a tandem bicycle up in Hue. And they find so they find a church and they stay in there. And during the Battle of Hue, they just basically shoot all these people in the church. They're just photographing them and getting these really deep shots. And they realize is that the NVA, the North Vietnamese Army, is coming down. And they get captured. And after a while, they basically convince them that, hey, we're not a threat. We don't need to do anything.
Yeah.
So she convinces the North Vietnamese to take their photograph. Like, she basically is the only person to be captured and photograph the NVA behind their own lines.
Can we Google that? A picture of her in... So she was like in camp?
Yes, she was in camp. She had a front page of Life in 68. And honestly, I'm so happy I get to talk about her because any chance I do, I love
Photo
this
in
woman.
camp.
Have you picked up any of those old giant Life magazines? Where
Oh,
they're literally
God.
like...
I love them, man. I used to
Massive.
collect them.
Do like photo in prison camp.
Or it's
Photo in prison camp.
I can tell you, I can show you. It's called the enemy lets me take his picture.
There you
was
go.
Was the article?
Yeah, look, I gotta see this, dude. And there's something to be said about the bravery there, dude.
Oh yeah, she was. But she another main reason that I got my Nikon is she actually shot with one. You can see in the bottom left there, she actually has one. It's basically covering her whole chest and saved her life.
Which one is the one of her in the camp?
That's there. The front page is of her in actually the one where she's right by the tree is her.
Oh, this one, the second one?
Yeah, that's her, and the one right at the bottom there. Let's see if you can see it. I don't know. This is really weird for audio. Just pointing it.
We have a YouTube channel.
Oh,
so
far out,
so
yeah.
they're watching on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
So they can see what we see.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're only listening, hop over to the YouTube and you can see a picture of Leroy in a Vietnamese. Is this it?
Yeah, that's it. That's her in the camp. She's literally in an NVA camp.
That's intense.
And she's got do you see that? There's a camera that she's carrying, this little Nikon at the bottom.
Literally covering her chest.
Yes, and she's basically carrying her weight in camera equipment. The Marines called her little sister.
That's intense.
But she...
how did you find this?
How
did you find Kathy Leroy? How did she become an idol of yours?
I don't really know. I guess I had studied her. I was very into music, I knew a lot about the 60s, a hyperfixation, honestly. And Vietnam...
Good decade.
Yeah, it's packed.
Yeah.
And But I had studied, or I wanted to study famous photojournalists. And for some reason, I had found her. And she died when I was like 6. But I had found her story. And for some reason, it really resonated with me. Because she honestly is literally the biggest badass I've ever met in my life. Or not met, dude. But studied.
Could you imagine being captured by the Russians right now? I feel like I'm talking about I feel like I'm living inside of Stranger Things, like the 80s. You know what I mean? It's Red Scare.
It's crazy.
Could you imagine being captured by the Russians as a photographer, just trying to shoot footage of the battlefront, and then they capture you, and then you're just like, also, de la Russia, Gorobara, get it, and you have them take your fucking picture?
It's crazy.
Like, but the balls.
Her story is not over, though. She has, the amount of balls on this woman is fantastic. She, again, 5 foot. She was the first woman to ever parachute with the United States Marine Corps.
Fuck yeah.
And she is, as she's parachuting out of the plane, she's taking photos on the way down.
Fuck yeah.
And she actually had her license revoked because a Marine officer, 6'4" Marine, basically said, "We don't parachute with little girls." And she basically looked right up to him. She goes, "Fuck you. I am done." And basically got her license revoked and got it back sooner or later because she cursed out a 6'4" Marine.
What a fucking stud.
Get this, too. Another one. I'm sorry. I'm obsessed with this one.
You're fine.
You hit a hyperfixation, man.
This is where I'm at. This is where I want to know who you are.
Oh, yeah. She was then hired in '69 to photograph the Woodstock Music and Arts Fair. And then, after day 1, she says, "Fuck this." And she just basically parties for 3 days.
No way.
And after she does her work in Vietnam, she basically parties with all the Marines that she was with in Vietnam.
It's fucking sick.
And she, at the end of her life, she starts a vintage clothing store.
What?
And she just lives out her life being just this cool person that, they need to make a movie about her. Honestly, this
Dude,
woman.
Netflix.
Oh, yes.
Tighten up, dude. You guys better be fucking watching this podcast.
Yeah.
Dude, if there was anybody that I would make a movie about in contemporary time, dude, Catherine Leroy is... that's a good candidate.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Forrest Gump storyline.
Oh, totally.
That's a Forrest Gump, minus the retardation, or was he? I don't remember if he was.
He had something.
Yeah,
he had stuff going on.
He had. I don't know if he was premature or what, or he definitely had AIDS.
Well, yeah. After
No,
Jenny.
it was polio. He had polio.
Polio, that's what it was. But then he slept with Jenny.
It was
she
Jenny.
Had AIDS.
Jenny had AIDS. Yeah.
AIDS was implied, and he
Yeah.
slept with her. So does he not get AIDS?
I don't know.
There was supposed to be a sequel to Forrest Gump.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, and they canceled it. Do you know why they canceled it?
Don't remember.
9/11. Never forget. Yeah,
I Am Sam might as well have been Forrest Gump, dude.
I Am Sam.
They wrote the whole script. Worst movie ever made, in my
Am
opinion.
Sam?
Yeah, hated it.
What?
Yeah, dude.
Cried like a baby.
Oh, dude. I mean, it's a good flick, but not his best work.
Yeah, that's true.
But they canceled it because of 9/11. They submitted the script on 9/9 of 2001 to make the sequel to Forrest Gump, which would have been roughly 10 years later, and which most sequels wait a good 10 years before they re-release, and then they waited that, and they submitted in 2001 9/9, and then 9/10 whatever, it doesn't get read. 9/11 then happens at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they finally get the script in LA, and they're like, America's just been attacked by terrorists. The last thing they need is another fucking... they were basically, we don't need fucking dirt to dirt, fucking running around with O.J. Simpson in the...
Exactly.
And that was going to be a scene in the movie. There's a book that you can read, the sequel to Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
But basically, there's a scene where he's riding in the back of O.J.'s fucking white Bronco, and he because you know how they photoshopped him in on
yeah.
So they photoshopped him in on the real footage of O.J. Simpson being chased on the freeway. Yeah, and it was gonna be good.
My sequel to Forrest Gump is that he's just living his life, man. Just let him mow the grass.
Yeah.
I'm happy that Forrest Gump is
2
one
hours
movie.
of just forced photographs.
I would pay money for this.
I would, dude.
Gen A. He's just living his best life, you know.
So you get this weird fascination. It's not weird, but you find this Catherine Leroy, and you're fascinated with her, and you kind of take parts of her and like incorporate that into yourself. I'm assuming
She's just one of them, one of the few. But
and then
she's
you
a major
have
one
like
I think
this steel worker's backbone in your body, but you also have like this artistic, creative soul. So like moving outside of so after you graduate from USI, like what does that even look like? You know what I mean? Like how do you even start getting into the field?
It's hard to say because even after you graduate, it's very rare that you actually go. I mean, there's people that do it, that, they go directly into the field that they're going into. And, I've been trying my best to, just stay in, photography, stay kind of immersed within it the best way I can. And, but now it's just, trying to find out where the next chapter is in your life. My mom, she basically described it the best way that I could think of is that, you go into life with multiple chapters, go into 8th grade, you're hot shit on campus. You're top of the chain in middle school.
That wasn't my story.
Then you're a freshman in high school, right? And then you feel like the new kid.
Yeah.
That going through college, I was like, yeah, I'm a senior in college. I kind of feel this. I kind of feel like, hot shit on campus. And then going out into the real world, I feel like a freshman in high school again.
I've been a freshman my whole life, so I don't know what's going on or where I went wrong, but do you guys ever feel like put yourself in a situation, like whether it be with your occupation or whatever, or just a social circle, but you put yourself in a situation and you're like, I don't fucking belong here. There's a name for it. It's like imposter syndrome, I think.
Totally.
I live in the imposter syndrome.
I mean, I was just one example of that. I ended up at a frat party a week or two ago with my girlfriend. I have not been to a party like that in a couple years. I'm not used to that anymore.
It's intense.
Yeah, it was a lot.
They like sacrifice goats and shit, dude. Or at U of E they did. I don't know.
That's where the frat party was. It was a U of E party.
Oh, man.
Oh, dude, it's
I was
dicey.
like, oh shit, there's people throwing up outside and like just the floor is shaking.
But that's where I live. I live in like the imposter syndrome.
Oh, totally.
Joe, do you ever feel like that? That you get into a situation where you get a gig and you're like, oh, right, yeah, sick.
Oh, of course.
And then you get there and you're like, oh, I fucking did that.
Well, I spent, over 5 years, trying to hone my craft as a photographer. I go to a gig, I shoot a concert, shoot a protest, I feel like I'm there. Jim Marshall, one of my favorite music photographers, he would say that 95% is me at the event. 5% is me holding a camera and using this tool to document what's happening. And I kind of feel that. It's because I feel like if I go to an event and I'm just like bam, 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 I'm getting a lot of good shit here and there. Sometimes it just happens. But for me, some days, I feel like I just click a button. And it's tough because you are kind of waiting. You're waiting for somebody to walk up to you and say, we know you have no idea what you're doing. We know that we're waiting for you to fuck up.
Shit the bed.
Yes, exactly.
Like anytime I am photographing an event or like a concert, especially if I'm like on stage or right up like under the stage, I feel like I'm almost in the way and like people are looking at me thinking, what the fuck is this kid doing? He doesn't, I'm like, I kind of know what I'm doing a little, but like...
But then again, on the same coin, the camera offers you so much access.
Security.
Not just security, but like it's a way to like the amount of times that I've showed up just with, I don't know, usually I carry 2 cameras when I'm covering a big event. A lot of people think, oh, are you with the press?
2 lenses.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah. I was like, are you with the press? Are you here for a magazine? I was like, no, I'm just here for myself, man.
Yeah, I'm just shooting, dog.
Yeah.
When I first got started, I used to go to the bars and like the bars that had like bands all the time and stuff. And dude, they would let me get in the rafters. They would let me get on stage to photograph the people. And it like brought you more connections from people at the bar itself.
Yeah, if you walk into somewhere with a camera, you can automatically do more than you would be allowed to
Tom,
if you didn't
question
have a camera.
for you. This is strange. I know we're interviewing you, Josh, but just give me a second here.
Go on ahead.
Did you ever have a gig where you were like, what the fuck? I don't belong here. You know what I mean?
That Valentine's Day shoot. Remember that? The boudoir?
The Boudin? When did you do a Boudin shoot?
And like it was awkward and just
Yeah, you don't seem like the type of guy for boudoir photography.
I do remember that. Have you ever done? Do you do boudin?
I do.
Boudin?
I do it. I do a couple boudin.
But this is like kind
Boudoir.
of.
It's close to it, yeah.
Not quite, but
slower.
Boudoir.
Slower.
Boudoir.
Boudoir.
Boudoir means bedroom.
Do you do bedroom often?
Not
That's
too-
easier for me.
Commercially, no.
I wasn't born in the
Personally-
bayou.
Personally, yeah. I like doing that like 1940s-ish glamour look to it. And I've done it before. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
It's hot.
it can, yeah, it definitely can be.
Homegirl that he just had pulled up, she was super hot. The way that you shot it.
I think her name is
I said homegirl. I don't, because he clicked away. Nice. On a Fuji, too.
Mhm.
Respect, dude.
So when you basically, so like, did you have any Lightroom experience, or do you mess with Lightroom at all?
Oh yeah, I do when I do digital.
So like, I mean, how was that versus like darkroom stuff with the lighting and burning and dodging?
Mhm.
Does it carry over like the
It
analog
does.
to the digital?
A little bit,
space?
yeah. Like a lot of times when I think about how I'm manipulating a digital photograph, I often think about, okay, if I was in the darkroom, what am I going to do? I'm going to pop in the shadows, burn here, dodge here. And if you don't know what burning and dodging is that when you take a negative, photo negative, you put it in a projector.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically enlarge it to an 8x10, 5x7, whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
And you put
For
light
the print size.
Yes.
Okay.
And you put
Okay.
light sensitive paper under it.
Okay.
And it basically burns in to the paper like a sunburn. Then you develop it in the trays, and that's where the image kind of shows up, and that's where you see it on all the
But you
movies and shit.
manipulate it before that paper gets involved.
With the light,
but
you
like
take,
burning and
like-
dodging is lightening and darkening.
Yeah.
Ah,
basically.
so
You
you're
can-
doing it with the light.
Yeah, you can lighten some areas, darken some areas.
Like
It's
adding
intense.
shadows and highlights.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have video of you? Well, I guess you can't really do video while you're in the dark room.
Yeah, it's too dark. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
I have
That would be so cool to see.
actually, yeah,
happening.
I do have video. I have a TikTok.
You can. What's your
If you-
TikTok? Drew can pull it up.
I
dude.
think it's like
Yeah.
pull up an open tab. Just,
I think it was a bunch of words with a zero.
you're promoting yourself right now, so
Trying my best.
no joke.
I made TikTok. I was actually TikTok famous during the pandemic. My friend, we just did like a.
Bunch of words, plural.
It's BUNCH0ORWORDS.
Let's see what that does, dude. I only say that because I've never seen somebody work in a dark room, and I just wonder what that even like looks like.
There it is.
This is it.
So I'm processing some salt prints and a Van Dyke as part of my latest work, and looking at some of my teacher's notes about how to process this and how to make the fixer or one of the chemicals. It says to use 30 grams of sodium thiosulfate or 3 big-ass teaspoons. God, I love college.
3 big ass teeth.
So
Yeah,
I'm
said.
processing some Very salt technical. prints and a Van Dyke as part of my latest work.
Oh, that's good, Drew.
Yeah, but
Dude,
you
that's-
like
That's cool, man.
got it in this little water bath with, I assume, some sort of chemicals. I don't know shit
I
about.
think it is a water bath. Van Dyke is an alternative process.
Ah.
There's standard photo Oh my god, there's so much. There's so much science and so much math. The thing I urge, here you can actually see the standard process in the video after that, right there.
To the right?
Not that one. I
Go
apologize. This is so
From
bad. We can cut
1970
this
to
out.
1980.
No, we don't need to cut it out. This is
As
live.
most of you don't know, I'm a photographer. More importantly, I'm a film photographer.
Me in 2020.
It's been a while since I've used my home photo lab, so I thought I'd show you guys how they used to make pictures for well over 100 years. First, you take a perfectly good room, and you turn it red. You then put some expensive silver paper under an expensive projector called an enlarger. You then give the paper a sunburn. Then you put it into a tray of chemicals which may or may not give you a predisposition for Parkinson's. This first chemical is called the developer. It's alkali metal, and it turns the silver onto the paper into silver bromide, turning the whites into blacks. After the development process is done, you put it into stop bath, which is citric acid. It stops the development process.
So freezes
After the
everything.
stop portion is done, you put it into sodium thiosulfate, or fixer, strips the rest of the silver off the image. Then you get it a water bath, make sure it's good and hydrated. Then you hang it up. dry, and voila, you have a picture.
That is fucking neat, dude.
Mhm.
And what method is that?
That's called the silver gelatin process.
Silver gelatin process.
It was, I forget exactly when
There's
it
a
came
lot
out.
of chemicals involved.
There is, actually.
So do you have to have a license to get any of these chemicals?
Nope.
You just go to Amazon, you're like, give me some citrate ammonium or whatever.
Yeah. A lot of times, you can really find them. There's some that are pretty iffy. There's some that they're hard to ship because they're like liquid chemicals.
Okay.
And there's some that are, there's some that just a lot of, I don't know. I'm surprised that they're that easy to get.
That's wild to me. Also, I'm a Two Bears One Cave fan, and I found out the other day just on Amazon you can buy chloroform.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you?
That's crazy.
You're on a pod. So right now you're on a podcast.
He said
Yeah.
chloroform, but when they looked it up, it was chlorophyll, not chloroform.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can't buy
Oh.
chloroform
Yeah,
on
chloroform,
fucking
that-
Amazon.
I'm sure you can
that's-
buy chloroform on Amazon.
You can probably buy the ingredients to make it, I'm sure.
I think chloroform's its own thing.
Dude,
Is it?
I watched Breaking Bad. You can make fucking anything, dude. No, but so you're on a podcast now, but do you follow any podcasts?
Oh,
Are you a
yes,
podcast guy?
I love podcasts.
What's your big hitters?
My big hitters are mostly true crime.
Really?
I'm big into true crime.
There's so
Like,
many
I-
of them, though.
I love, and that's why we drink, which is two people. One does true crime, and the other one does ghost stories and cryptids.
I love that.
And the other one is wine and crime, which one of them is, I think they were a psychology major, and she gives basically a background in psych, and the other two give like a background or give their own stories to it,
Nice.
and they do a lot of really, really funny. It's funny, but they try and keep it lighthearted. But
No,
at
I
the end of
dig
the
that.
day, they're talking about death and destruction.
That was a random question that I had, but no, this process. I mean, this had to take you forever to learn.
It takes a little bit.
So, who taught you? Was it just you just learned through text?
I learned myself to begin with, but looking back, I really didn't learn all that I've learned unless I went to school for it. Like, I learned a lot more in school.
USI taught you a fair amount about film.
Yes, I was very privileged to talk with my mentor and to meet him. He's a photographer named Rob Dickus.
Love
And
that man.
I don't know who that
he
is.
is fantastic.
Rob, what was it?
Dickus.
Rob
Dickes.
Like the
Yeah.
coach from the Bears.
Exactly.
85. Shout out.
But he was one of the guys that really kind of was a great mentor to me. Great dude to sit down and have a beer with.
Nice.
Just a really all around amazing dude. We've done I don't know. He joined USI the same year I joined, and so I spent 5 years with him.
So one question that really sticks out in my head is that, like, when it comes to events or like things that you get hired for or like paid gigs, how often is it that they say we want film versus digital? Does that happen, or do you specify when someone reaches out to you like, hey, I do film and digital and this do they cost different?
Actually,
or
to my I'm at the kind of the point now where a lot of people are like, well, film costs a lot of money. To be honest, like, I have all my own equipment now. Like, to have that is like incredibly important because it does cost a lot of money if you're buying like top of the line film and sending it off to be processed every time. Like, I process it pennies on the dollar, and it's easy, and I can burn through some film.
really?
And
What do you think the cost of film's gone up since you got started?
oh god, ridiculous amount. I remember buying I mostly bulk load, where basically instead of buying individual canisters of film like this, I didn't
you're
knock
good.
something over. But this is like a regular canister. You can buy it 100 feet at a time, and you can just load it up in your canisters individually. I used to buy 100 feet at a time, and I remember paying $50 for 100 feet of film.
How many shots is 100 feet of film?
Technically, it's 20 rolls. 36 times 20 is maybe 6.
720.
Yeah, maybe.
700 shots, essentially.
I don't know if it's 700. Is it 700? I don't know how to do math.
You
I
said
don't-
360 times 20, right?
36 times 20.
36 times 20.
Yeah,
It's about
720.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, 720.
But now, one roll of film if you get like nicer film, it can be like $60 to $80.
Mm-hmm. For one, I remember for 100 feet of film, I remember paying $50 for it. I remember during the pandemic, I paid $75 for 100 full of Kodak Tri-X, top of the line, great film stock. They've had it since the 50s. Now I don't think it goes less than 150.
Yeah, I mean, for this 3 boxes of Kodak Gold, I probably paid over $100.
I didn't
for
know
sure.
3 boxes for that? Where are you buying?
I don't know. I've had this for a while, so
I didn't know you were into film.
I'm not a whole lot. I have like a little point and shoot film camera. It's like a Canon
A1.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't have it with me.
I
so
didn't,
I
I
don't
didn't
know
know
what
you
it's
were
called.
into film.
Hey, if you need that process, send it off to me.
I do. I have multiple.
Teeter
rolls.
over on you. You might sit that cup up right there. We go. I just didn't want to cause a house fire in the middle of a podcast. That might not
That'd be bad.
Well,
Yeah, I wish I had my actual camera on me, but I forgot.
But you actually brought a camera with you. And,
Yeah, I do.
Which one is this that you brought in with you?
This is a Nikon F. This is the best camera that they ever made in the entire world.
Nikon F.
Yes.
What year is that?
This is made somewhere between 1969 and the summer of 1970.
What did you? Can I ask, without being rude, what did you pay for it?
I forget how much I paid for this.
Over $1,500.
No. I paid for about $250 for this.
You got it for $250?
Yeah, you can buy it for about $250.
Yeah, film cameras are way cheap.
Film cameras are just way cheaper.
Yeah, and the lenses are way cheaper. This is a Nikon lens, like high quality lens.
Sometimes
I paid $20 for this thing.
They make lens adapters though, so you could throw that on like a digital camera.
Hell yeah, that's what I do for my digital too.
Maybe I lied. I looked up this film on Amazon, and it's not as expensive as I thought it was.
It can be expensive,
But
if you
it
get the
can
high
be.
quality stuff.
So your digital camera's a Fuji?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
I love that thing, and I'll tell you why I do. Is because when I first started, like, I guess, going into digital, working in like the press on USI, I needed I can develop film fast, and I did. And for some reason, my chief photographer at the time, Jordan Ocker, great guy, he said, I have no idea how you're making your deadlines every week, but good for you.
Keep it up, champ.
Yeah, exactly. But we had, I basically switched to it just so I could save some time, because it's better than going to the lab, spending an hour developing all that film and scanning it. And, but I got the Fuji because it's 100% just like the Nikon.
Did you try any other cameras out before the Fuji?
I did-ish.
And you said all these are shit. Take them back.
Yeah, kind of.
He's like, yeah, maybe they're not shit.
But I'll tell you why I chose the Fuji is that I needed something close to my muscle memory. The way that I've learned to shoot was I basically put it to my face.
You can walk me through it. Like,
Okay.
yeah, just talk louder if you're going to pull away from the...
Okay. I basically like put it to my face, look through here, adapt or hit my aperture on my ring, change my shutter speed. Oh, that's the thing. This listen to this.
Oh, God, dude,
Dude, and you know what's rad about the Fuji is it has a mechanical shutter, but also an electronic shutter.
Yeah,
So if you
exactly.
wanted it to be completely quiet and nobody was knowing you're taking a photo, it can do that. But then it
Exactly.
also has a loud
Can
slap.
I just be honest with everyone in the room right now? I'm 3/4 chub. Whatever that fucking noise was. Dude, you sounded like a dude. All I relate it to is like a guy on the sidelines of the NFL, and it's just like,
Here, you ready?
yeah, dude,
Check
come
this
on.
out.
I need to finish
You
off.
I
need to finish.
You want to hear some high quality camera noise?
Let's do it.
You see, the Nikon F has something called a semi-automatic aperture indexing system.
Okay.
Big freaking words, man. Basically, the light meter needs to know how big the lens is. So listen to this. You put it in. And you're ready.
Dude, have you ever thought about doing ASMR?
No, never in my life.
Dude, start. Dude, I subscribe to that OnlyFans. 10 out of 10. I subscribe to that for sure.
Yeah.
That's hot, dude.
I recommend a Fuji to anybody that's going mirrorless.
I do too,
Yeah.
because like especially if you're learning too, you got shutter speed on a dial, you have aperture on a dial. Now it's all digital where you have to Canon, Nikon Zs, Canon Rs, the other big mirrorless brands, they don't have that. They're not made like a Fujifilm,
Right.
or not made like a film camera.
What do you think about the data packs, though?
the database.
Fujifilm photos are a bigger size file.
Considerably larger file.
Oh yeah.
Considerably.
Yeah, but that's why you get the color profile that you get with a Fujifilm camera.
Oh yeah. The sensor in a Fujifilm camera is very different than the sensor in a Nikon or a Canon or anything else like that there. It's made to emulate the color, the stock, and the look of film.
That's fucking God, dude. Honestly, like,
God bless you.
thank you. That the noises you were making earlier, fuck, dude. Get my number after this,
Okay.
dude. No, but it's interesting, man, to say the least. Like that, you're so indulged in both worlds, and I guess like. Do you have any advice for like a youngster out there? Because we actually didn't even talk about how old you are. Are you 25?
23.
23? Damn, so close. So close. When do you turn 24?
January.
I was even closer. You're basically 23 and a half.
I'm a Capricorn, sorry.
I saw a meme the other day of like the planets aligned, and it was like, "Stop blaming me for your problems." I love that.
Poor planets, man.
Shout out to Alonzo. He's the one who posted that. But anyways, no. So do you have any advice for any youngsters out there, 12, 13, 14, that are like, yeah, I like taking pictures on my phone, but like they want to get into it?
Oh, get a camera.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So is your advice like just go do it?
Yeah, that's there's the only one way that you can get better. And I tell this advice to photographers that I've trained for the newspaper. I tell this advice to even people that are thinking about getting into photography. If you're 12, 13, you like taking photos on a phone, on a tablet, and whatever, get a camera. Get a camera and keep it at your side, always. Always have it. And always start shooting. Shoot everything. Shoot the windows, shoot car tail lights, shoot, I don't know, ankles, feet. Don't sell it just yet. Yeah. But do whatever you feel that you're happy with that camera.
That's a good point. Hold on real
Get all of those close-up photos of flowers out of your system.
Exactly.
And then you can take some really good photos.
Oh, no. Like, honestly, to this day, some days I'll be like, some days I wonder, oh, yeah, this is going to be a great roll. I had some great shots here. I was like, some days I just swear I love to just hear the shutter go off.
I have a question real quick. Is it illegal? So if you're shooting foot stuff, the model obviously has to be 18 or older.
Yeah, I imagine so.
We're checking IDs.
Yeah.
Not that you are, but whatever. If you're getting into foot stuff. My question is, can the shooter be under 18? Can a 13-year-old shoot a boudin? Or a bedroom shoot?
What's
the rules on that? Is there a rule?
I think they could shoot foot stuff because it's not technically nudity, but boudoir, that's pushing it.
How
because
are you saying
I would say so.
Boudoir.
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 There
Yes.
you go. You got it.
But
Boudoir.
I actually have experience with this. When I was 17, one of my former coworkers wanted to get boudoir photos done for her husband.
Fuck, that's hot.
Oh, man.
And
That's hot.
she asked me if I would do them, and I was like, I don't know, like
That's a
how
tricky
comfortable you
situation.
are with that. I can do them maybe when I turn 18, but then it seems weird that we waited to do them.
Mhm.
I was like, I'm fine with this, but like I don't know. I don't want to put you in a weird situation.
That's a sticky
And
pickle.
then we never ended up doing them, and she does not like me. She blocked me on Facebook.
That's a sticky pickle.
Personally,
Honestly,
if
yeah.
you are under the age of 18, I don't think you should be doing like boudoir
Yeah,
stuff.
I don't think you should.
I think that there is
That's fair.
like there's and it's not only for you. Like if you're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, whatever. Learn the basics of portraiture if you're getting into that.
Right.
And
Start taking
after-
senior photos,
after
dealing
you're-
with people your age.
Learn to do the basics of it and hone your craft.
And
if you want
honestly,
to do
what
that,
does a 12-year-old know about being sexy? All right, tighten up, dude. All right,
But,
so
yes.
let's just put it at that. You mentioned that,
Yeah.
like take pictures of feet, don't sell them.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, I was like, well, that fucking.
well, it's kind of a joke. I'm just
Well,
awkward.
it's
you know?
also I feel like a lot of people when they learn their camera or like they get a new camera, they try to do everything. Like we mentioned, like macro shots of flowers
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Like-
like learn the camera, learn how to do long exposures, learn
Yeah.
how to do some like HDR photos and
Mhm.
overlay them. Learn all
Just
the
like,
basics you can.
You can do some really cool shit with HDR, which I didn't learn until I was in college at Ivy Tech.
Mhm.
If you take any real estate photos, HDR.
Yep, that's
What
100%.
HDR is basically you take like 3 different exposures of a photo and then you overlay them.
Yeah.
So the exposure where the sky looks really good, but everything else is really dark, that's the one you use for the sky.
I
Photo
like that.
where
And the nice part
your
is
subject
about
looks good, but the sky is
Fujifilm.
blown out,
Mm-hmm.
you combine them.
The nice part about it is like our Fujifilm cameras, you can set it up, and so like I can literally set up an HDR and say take 5 photos, all one stop from each other,
Yep.
and then it blends them all together into one photo. I don't
Mhm.
even have to edit it half the time for real
It's
estate.
wonderful.
One of my last big questions I have for you that I wanted to ask today,
Mhm.
because you have a phenomenal Instagram, which by the way is Josh_S_Meredith MEREDITH.
I probably need to change that.
No, it's fine. I think it's great. You have a really great profile. So
Well,
hats
thank
off to you. I really like a lot of your shots on here. But out of all the shoots you've ever done, has there been one that has stuck out that like so there's a book that I read a long time ago, a show, what was it called? It was like The Show That I'll Never Forget or something like that. And it was about a photographer who shot like a fucking Pixies concert or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was so monumental that he, like the event itself, like he wrote an entire 300-page book about it.
Oh, wow.
Is there a shoot that sticks out in your mind right now that you're like, man, if I had to, I could write a book about that? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever have a gig like that? Or is that like something that's on the horizon that you're chasing?
That's something I'm on the horizon of chasing. There are many shoots out there that I kind of think about that are just really, that really do stick out. Like amazing stories here and there. Another great example is, you see the one with the flames?
Oh, in the top right here.
Yeah, on the top right here.
Yeah.
This is my friend Rush. He's a great musician. He's from
Dressed
Evansville.
very nice, by the way.
Wonderful guy.
Yeah.
We were doing this, and it was part of a, this is his album cover for his single called Alone. And he had hired me to shoot the music video for it. And I said, well, what are your ideas for this type of video? He goes, well, the idea behind the song is my girlfriend cheated on me. And
I'm going to kill her.
Exactly, because Earl's dead, you know. Isn't that
Was
song?
that it?
No.
He killed her?
No,
Oh,
he didn't kill her.
Sorry, I was yes-anding you.
Isn't that the Dixie Chick song? It's like the Earl's dead or whatever.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Earl's dead. Yeah, you are correct.
But no, the story is that he wanted to have this narrative that there was a piano that his girlfriend owned, and he took it into a field and he set it on fire.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And I was like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. And we got a piano, and he said, well, I had to pay $100 for the piano. And I couldn't take these free pianos to say, go to a good home, you know, because we're going to set the fucker on fire. But
It's a heartbreaker.
It is. We did name it Clifford because that was the warranty on it. It was a dude named Clifford. And we set Clifford on fire, and we bought all the rubber cement in the next 3 counties, and we set it on fire.
To bleep Clifford. It sounds like we're talking about a person.
No.
You set
To
Clifford on
clarify,
fire.
Yeah, we
Clifford,
said-
Clifford is a piano.
Clifford is a piano. Let's get that straight here. When we set him on fire, he's a great guy. He's dead now, but
Yeah, he's a good guy.
But we got the music video of him playing the piano while it's on fire. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And at the very end of the shot, I remember that our assistant Zane was holding a light just right above him with his phone flashlight.
Yeah.
And it was so dark that I remember just telling him, it's like, hold still. Like, just if you move, I swear.
You're going on top of this goddamn piano.
I'm going to throw you on top of the goddamn piano. Like, I am. But somehow it turned out. In hindsight, it's maybe a bit too saturated than what I do now. But this is an example of just a crazy thing that just happened. And I think that's what makes a photo good. It's not only the story behind it, but it's
the
just
happenings.
The happenings.
Yeah. How the art comes to life.
Exactly. Like the greatest, even in photojournalism, there's a great photojournalist I used to study. His name is Ouija. His name was Arthur Fellig, but everybody called him Ouija. He said, the best thing that you can do as a photojournalist is F8 and be there. Put the camera in F8 and just be there. That's half of it. That's all you need.
Is F8 for fuck yeah?
Yeah,
No.
F8 is for fuck yeah. It's
Hell
a fuck
yeah.
yeah stop.
Fuck yeah, stop.
Yeah.
Dude,
Like
that's
that.
intense, man. No, man. So your
me.
best advice to any youngsters out there that are getting. Oh, is that Andrew in a shot?
Yeah, it is. Look at
It
him.
is.
Look at him go.
This show
Was phenomenal.
I loved the show. The Strangers fucking killed it, but some of the best concert photography I've ever done, in my opinion.
This is
Do you
killer
shoot a
shot.
lot of black and white? How long did that like? I feel like black and white's like a weird but tricky niche.
It is. It's because I learned on it. You know, like I learned how to print and develop it and do it like that. And I feel like I have a really interesting. How do I say it? Like love of black and white. It's hard to say, and it's not a love-hate relationship either. It's just that I'm obsessed with it.
Right.
I think that color, in a way, is distracting. If you photograph something in color, you're being completely like
harassed.
You're not harassed, but being I wouldn't say harassed, more like being overwhelmed with stimuli.
Yeah.
Your eyes are being stimulated, the cones in your eyes are seeing color, and you're being drawn away from what actually makes the photograph.
Yeah, if this photo was in color,
Mm-hmm.
you'd see all the different colors of these people's shirts, the trees in the background.
100%.
But black and white, you're focusing on
Right on
Sister
her.
Cindy
The
here.
forefront.
Mhm.
And there's a passion or a sadness in this forefront, and you feel that. I
Yeah.
like that.
She's very intense. Like I feel like the camera captures a bit of the aura.
Yeah.
And if you look at her, I mean, she's what type of person do you think she is?
Oh, dude, she's for sure friends with my grandmother. And they probably, I don't know, they probably play cards.
Yeah, not saying anything about here or there about Sister Cindy, but when you photograph a person,
I'm saying something about Sister Sydney.
Do you know who Sister Cindy is?
No, she's friends with my grandmother now, though. my grandmother's dead.
Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah. But Sister Cindy was an evangelical Christian speaker. You know, she basically goes to campus calling all the girls hoes. And
Jeez, that's aggressive.
yes, it really is.
And she's
look
made
at her
a name
shirt.
for
She
herself.
says, "I'm a hoe, no mo."
I'm a hoe, no
Oh, no.
mo.
But she is like the only thing about it is shock factor. It's 100%.
I love
That's somebody that's ashamed of all the orgies they attended in the 70s.
Well, let's not assume she's been in any orgies.
But
She's
there
not a
is-
ho no mo. She's been in orgies.
Oh, well, there is admittance there. That's true.
But it really is interesting. Like when I approach something like this, I try to do the best thing I can as a photojournalist.
Are you afraid of allegiance?
Allegiance?
Yeah, like the planes.
So no. Well, yeah, they crash a lot, just so we're clear. But no, I mean allegiance, they do. Just you could Google how many allegiance planes crashed. They crash a lot, just for the record.
I flew it once. It's freaky.
Dicey.
Yeah.
No, but allegiance too. So you shoot Sister Sydney?
Cindy.
Sister Cindy, yeah.
Cindy. Sister Cindy here. And do you think that people see these shots and they're like, oh, he's a fucking right-wing evangelical. He fucking hates fucking...
I get what you're saying, yeah.
Allegiance to a part... We don't do politics, but like, that's my question is like, what do you think that politics bleed into art? Not necessarily... I don't want to talk about one over the other. But
Politics can, but I'll tell you, when I photograph something like this, photojournalism perspective, the best thing you should do as a journalist is to be objective.
Mm-hmm.
And the best thing I can do, say, speaking politically, is I'm not doing anything besides putting them in a frame. And whatever they're doing, whatever they're seeing, is what actually happened.
Yeah.
And whatever they're doing that's either, I don't know, politically this way, politically that way,
Right.
is all their own doing. It's just, they're the ones doing it. I'm just the one with the camera.
That's a neat way to put it, that I'm just putting them in a frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
For me,
That's a neat way to put it.
with these photos, it definitely comes across as like a neutral stance because you're clearly showing like whatever confrontation is going on here, and then
Yeah, Karen is
Like,
super pissed. In
you
that
show
last
both
picture.
sides. This proud hoe, and then
I know that woman. She's a great lady.
yeah,
I'm so sorry.
No.
Didn't mean that.
It's funny, though. It's funny.
She kind of looked like her name could be Karen.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, that's all I wondered is like, are you afraid of allegiance?
I'm not afraid of allegiance. I find that it's better to do it objectively. I find it's better that you don't have allegiance.
It sounds like you're living in the moment.
Mm-hmm. It's best
me.
too.
And honestly, I feel like that's a note that a lot of people could take out of your book, or a page that people could like take out of your book, is that like really just we could all live a little more in the moment.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do with a camera.
And it's hard to do with technology and
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
TikToks and-
I found myself carrying my camera all the time, and then you're at events and you're like only taking pictures, and then like you realize at the end of the event that all you have are these pictures. Like you don't really necessarily, you weren't there in the moment.
I have a fun thought here. My fun thought is, it's funny you say that, Tom, because the fun thought that I have is that, like, if you are a true artist and a true photographer, I look at you guys as like a warrior, as like you're going into battle, and your battle is to record and present accordingly the event that is happening. And it's not to be a part of, it's not to enjoy, it's not to boast or brag. It is to just simply, like Josh is saying, live in the moment, like be in the moment and put it in a frame.
Yep.
So, yeah, do you lose out? For sure. Did you get to hold a picket sign? No, you didn't. But 50 years from now, someone looking at that picture may look at that and be like, man, I feel like I'm there holding a picket sign.
It's part of the history about it too, is that Bill Curtis, another great reporter, he works for Wait, Don't Tell Me now. He's a great guy. But I don't know him, but I imagine he's a great guy. But he has a quote about journalism, which I really enjoy, is that, I'm paraphrasing here, but a journalist looks at it objectively. And the reason that they do it is because when they do look at something objectively without taking sides, they're giving a license to observe it all. They're giving a license to observe everything from every side, from every angle, a carefree license to document what's in front of them. And that's honestly the best way to go about it, is you need to be able to approach a situation without leaning left, without leaning right. You need to be able to, conversate with people. You need to be able to be comfortable around whoever. Because the moment you do, the moment they get comfortable, the moment anybody gets comfortable, their true self starts to show out. And who's there with the camera but the photographer?
It's true. That's true.
Has there ever been a
bullshit.
dark moment on your photography journey where like you just wanted to set the camera up or rip all your darkroom stuff down and like
just be done? I'm fucking done with this.
You don't have to go in the moment necessarily, but like what pulled you through that?
There's times where, it can be rough. And that's saying for anything. And, there's definitely been times where I'm literally developing something in the lab. I remember when I was in art school, just processing something and being so angry that this is what I took a photo of, or that I know I can do better, just being so incredibly disappointed in yourself. That I remember, ripping up pictures. I remember throwing pans. I remember, being pissed. Like, you don't know if it's you. You don't know if it's the moment you're in. You don't know if it's the art. You don't know if you suck. You don't know anything. But, in order to improve, there's always a dark night of the soul, man. There's has to be something to make you feel that way. Like, I feel like in my experience, I wouldn't say there's been a major thought that I have always wanted to that I've been wanting to get rid of photography. There's been times where I've, had slow moments where I think, is this really for me? Is this really what I should have been studying for 5 years?
What gets you through that, though?
What gets me through that is, at the end of the day, you're reminded why you joined it in the first place. At the end of the day, like some days I go into the lab, 5 rolls of film, thinking, why the fuck do I do this? Thinking, why do I bother myself going through all this work?
Right.
Then you put it in a can, you develop it, you take it out, and you look at it up to the light. And you say, okay.
That's why.
100%.
Beautiful shots. It's interesting, man. It's an art form, especially the analog. It's an art form that's dying. I think it's coming. I think there's a slight resurgence.
Oh, it's a huge resurgence now.
Can we blame the hipsters? Maybe.
Maybe. You know what I say it is? I think it's 2020, man.
Dude.
I think it's when people are in quarantine and they're losing their loved ones, and they realize the people that they've lost, and they realize some of them, they never even had any physical pictures of them.
Yeah.
And after 2020 was a major resurgence of it. Kodak's had to rush hire, 440 new technicians, open up 2 new factories just to keep up with the demand of film. But the demand for something physical is always there.
And I appreciate the shit out of it, man. There's something to be said about putting, hand to paper and like dipping in these chemicals and like doing the work that you do. So I'm very, very impressed, man.
Thank you.
So we like to give you the last couple minutes for personal shout outs or
where people can find you, where can somebody book you if they want photos taken, all that jazz.
Yeah, that's all you, man. So the last couple minutes.
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Josh S. Meredith, Meredith. You see a person there with long hair and an ugly mug. That's me.
Almost Weird Al Yankovic.
Almost Weird Al Yankovic.
Very close, like a cousin.
But yeah, I'd like to thank you both for having me on here. I've never been on a podcast, so this is pretty far out. I kind of like it.
Welcome, dude. Thanks for coming.
Man, it's been a hell of a time.
And then who's helped you to get to where you are? Shout outs to anybody.
Oh, definitely.
You have to tell them about this episode, though.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'd like to shout out my mentor, Rob Dickus. I don't know if he'll listen, but if you are, love you, man. You're great.
I also love Rob Dickus. I don't know him nearly as well, but he saved my ass last semester. I was in a bunch of classes I didn't need to be in, and he caught that and helped me out.
Is a wizard.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but he is a wizard.
Dude, I like this Dickus guy. Who else you got?
Shout out to, the art faculty at USI for putting up with my shit for 5 years. Shout out to my parents. I'm sorry.
That's it. I'm sorry.
That's it. That's what I got.
I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad. Dude, you could have done anything for the last 2 hours, but you came down to the west side. You hung out with the Catholics, over here by Modern Day. So just really, really greatly appreciate you coming down and spilling your story, man. Seriously, like we've learned a lot about you, a lot of personal stuff. So for that, I thank you. And Tom, I don't know if he's like asleep over here, so we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I love when I find another Fuji film lover. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so few of us now.
I know.
What I mean?
The dying breed.
Not a dying breed, but if they have a Fujifilm camera,
they're up to some shit, man.
Yeah. Josh was talking about earlier, if people are like trying to get into photography, just get a camera.
Definitely.
And yeah, you can start on your phone. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
But I want a new camera, so if anyone wants to buy my camera, I will gladly sell it to you. Just throwing that out there.
What kind of camera do you have?
It's like the perfect beginner camera. It's a Canon T5, so it's kind of old, but it is a great beginner.
Classic.
They have like T7s and T9s now.
Yeah, it's.
I wonder if 50 years from now the
bit.
hipsters will be shooting Canon Rebel T5.
I don't think the hipsters are going to use DSLR cameras at all.
Yeah.
Just wet plate collodion, you know what I mean? It's like just put it in a dark room. We'll just put egg white and lavender all over it. It's going to be great, man.
All right, guys, I got an idea. We're all going to take acid. Whoa, dude. Fucking Gerald. Settle down.
Man.
Dude, if you ever meet a guy named Gerald, he's a hipster. Dude, honestly, dude, I'm pumped. I'm so glad I got to know you today, man. You're a really great dude.
Thank you.
And seriously, Josh, it's been nothing short of a pleasure. I think this has been a very educational podcast. Wouldn't you guys
It's been
agree?
another thrilling episode of the Thedaysgrimm.
My name is Brian Michael Day.
My name is Thomas Grimm.
And I'm Drew Head.
This has been Mr. None Other Than Josh Meredith. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Well, thank you for
Greatly
having me,
appreciate
man.
it. Seriously.
Great to meet all of you.
Spin it
You
up,
as well.
Daddy.